Welcome to your gift. It's a Sunday night. We're just going to start off and let you admire greatness. I mean, it's not often in your life you can see true greatness, especially on a mini golf course.
Well, you certainly don't see too many bodies like that on the mini golf.
That is
You
for
don't know what I'm
sure.
working with. No, definitely not that. Definitely not.
You would definitely fall in the exception.
Yeah, that's not a real mini golf bod.
Well, I see three people that have our eyeballs on Mr. Blaine and Lindsay and our poor friend Larry here.
Oh, Larry.
So, oh, Larry. Oh, Larry. Pat, I'm going to jump into it, and you're going to kick things off in 3, 2.
Let's do it. Welcome to Sunday Night Mini Golf here on Couple of Putts streaming channel. I am Pat Sheridan, the co-host of We're Gonna Need a Bigger Windmill, and this is episode 10.5, I believe we're calling it, where we're taking a look at hardcore mini golf instead of Holy Moly this week, since Holy Moly was a rerun. For those of you who have not watched this before, I'm the co-founder of the Putting Penguin, a mini golf course review site, and then I do about a million other things in the world of mini golf, most notably working with the World Mini Golf Sport Federation and playing in tournaments up and down the East Coast and sometimes the world, depending on how the wind may blow and or coronavirus. And my co-host is, at least for me, diagonally today, in Mr. T.
Which way is he? This make it so difficult.
Nope.
Hi.
There we go.
There. It's like the Brady Bunch, but just 4 dudes. Hello.
That's a 21st century Brady Bunch.
Is that half the Brady Bunch of the guy side?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Tom Loftus. I'm my moniker over at A Couple Putts is Mr. T. My wife Robin and I started A Couple Putts, document our mini golf adventures. Been playing a bunch of courses for the last 8 or so years, and then we started building, designing, and consulting, and then we did this weird, wild show that some other people might mention that has interesting characters in mini golf and larger than life, colorful scenarios. And so, this is our third conversation about hardcore mini golf. And we'll be talking about episodes 5 and 6. And we brought back our friends from the mini golf world to talk about this show, since they have been willing to join us in the past and sticking along for the ride. And we'll start this way with Randy.
Hey guys, I'm Randy. I am a pro mini golfer from the northeastern United States of America. I've been playing in tournaments for, I don't know, over 10 years. I was on Holy Moly Season 1. I'm a public school teacher's assistant, and I run a trivia that I love to do. And I don't think you need much more than that about me. I'd rather hear a little more about this guy right down here.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no.
I nailed it for the record.
I know. That was so, mine was not smooth at all. Well, not only do I have a adolescent mustache, but my name is Aaron Kaminsky. I am the president of O Street Mini Golf, also known as El Presidente. Yes, with the flag. God, you're probably waiting to do that. I need flags. I need my background. Instead of this wood, needs to be I'm going to paint it red and white and blue.
I mean, it's loosely flag stripy.
I know, right? It's perfect. But so I run a miniature golf league in the South Jersey area. We have friends in England, so there's probably a Jersey there. So the new or Jersey in the United States. And we also have a YouTube channel where we do the visual version of reviews or ridiculous games and different things like that. And also, I will be competing on Holy Moly on Thursday, August 6th. I finally got my date.
Yeah, got that date.
Yeah. So you can cheer or root against me either way. I'm happy with it, but if you root against me, you're going against America, and you can't beat America. I don't know, but
Oh, you should. Yeah, you had
I
it.
am so exhausted. I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'm rambling. You know what? I looked at my notes, and two of the I think I did Randy's recap for like one hole. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I have to redo a whole nother recap for my for what I actually have to cover today, which I guess we'll get into now.
Yes, we're going to jump right into it. And I even forgot my notes, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to do like a quick overview, because if you're watching this and you haven't watched hardcore mini golf, most of this isn't going to make sense, since we're discussing like into the second and semifinal rounds, yes, of a internet show by the Achievement Hunter folks that's on the Rooster Teeth channel. It's a lot of gamer, board gaming, competitive, online fun stuff. There seems to be a little bit of improv and joking around, and they decided to launch a show where 16 people compete in a tournament to see who's the best mini golfer for a green jacket. It's kind of like every golf or mini golf thing that's ever happened. You compete for a jacket. There's lots of funny stuff. There's refs. There's bips. There's coin tosses. There's power-ups. There's $100 holes. There's drinking. There's swearing. There's commentators. And it's all on one of the most fun mini golf courses in the entire country, Peter Pan, that's been family owned since 1948. Both courses are a par 41, which you wouldn't know from the scores. And again, had both the scorecards sitting out to use, but there's an East and a West Coast, East and a West course that they've been competing on and exchanging on. And we're already through the first round and into the second round. So I'm going to kick it over to Pat to catch us up on what happened in the first round to get us to this point.
All right, so we're going to try to go through this quick. We started with 16 lovely competitors going out here. Our first round matchups were Chilled Chaos, who was kind of a Mario-ish, who looked like he might have been militarized at some point, versus Alfredo Diaz. Chilled Chaos took that one. Then we had Chef Mike, who was obviously a chef, versus Lindsay Jones, who was the belle of the ball. She took that one. We had Eric Bodor, who was our weird 70s Vegas bookie, looked like he stepped out of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I miss that guy.
He, gone too quick in all of our opinions. Versus Michael Snake Eyes Jones, for you G.I. Joe fans out there. Michael took that one, as you can see. I love that you have the scores up here too, because I didn't write any of that stuff down. God, those scores! I mean, it looks like college basketball final.
We need something.
Yeah, we had and then fourth we had Barbara Dunkelman, who was our chimney sweep, versus pseudo boyfriend, I guess, Trevor Collins, our basketball player. Speaking of the Final Four, then we had Fiona Nova, the ballerina, versus Gavin Free, who was just a literal mini golf course. Ryan Haywood was our plague doctor, versus Jeremy Hannibal Lecter Dooley. Jeremy won that. Oh, I forgot to mention that Gavin won his particular match. We had Matt Bragg, who was our luchador, versus Chad James, who I actually completely forgot what he was and had to go back and look it up. He was our Scottish fellow. He made such an impression after the first minutes of that round. And then Blaine, Macho Man, our favorite person in the world.
Yes.
Versus Chris Damaris, who was the robot, and Blaine took round one there. As you can see, the scores not stellar. I guess Chilled almost broke 60, which was kind of impressive. And Eric, our man, managed to shoot an 85, which, if you watch the match, was actually not that terrible, considering I don't know how many shots he actually used his putter for. So
It's true.
wide range, a very fun first round, kind of set up what we were going to do for round 2 and 3, and eventually the finals here. And that got us through episodes 1 and 2. So we are moving on to where we left off in round 2.
My man.
All right.
We have Randy, right? Or do we have? No, we have
you.
Aaron.
Yeah, Lindsay and Blaine, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Lindsay and Blaine at this point are tied at 54. The two pretty much start their playoff hole on hole 1 again. So the first time I think we saw a playoff, am I mistaken? Or second time? First time. Okay, so first time we saw a playoff. And the rules are that you play one hole, and if there is a winner, that is the winner of that matchup. But if they continue to tie, they keep moving on to the next hole and following hole until there is a winner. So the Lindsay had a great first putt on the first hole, and she was pretty much gave her an easy 2 shot. And Blaine made a straight, no obstacles in the way, but made a decently difficult 2 putt that took them to the second hole. Both players got behind this triangle obstacle, and the only shot available was this bank. Lindsay botched it like twice, and Blaine ended up getting a 3, and I think the final score was 50-60, which at that point really didn't matter because Blaine just got a better score than Lindsay. But it took him to the Final Four, which I know Randy is extremely happy about. We can continue to talk about Blaine, the Macho Man, Rooster Teeth Savage.
He's so good.
He's so good. He's so good. They must have used so much baby oil. It's insane.
I was wondering today what number bottle that was in this.
They're probably
around.
environmentally friendly and have like a big jug to refill that small bottle because
if they're smart.
Hashtag save the planet. You have to.
Maybe that's what's filling up Larry's big old ref shirt. Maybe it's just got like he opens it up like a watch salesman on Canal Street, and it's just actually like bottles of baby oil in there.
Oh God.
I love it. Well, then that brings us to our next. We're still in the second round. Yes, or are we the third? No, we're in the second round.
No, we have a bunch left in the second round.
Yeah, we're in the second round. I'm losing track of time. And Randy.
What do we do? Oh, yes, Gavin and Michael. Okay, so sorry, I'm just looking at I was looking at the show notes and not the graphic.
So distracting.
So, all right. I think the beginning of this matchup, it was best described by Jack, the commentary guy, the one with the red beard, who said, "Hard to believe these two advanced in the tournament." I'd say that's pretty accurate. So these guys were all over the place, terrible putting, and not to get too mean, but they were also like, this is a weird character matchup. I don't think either of them was doing anything like non-entertaining, but it was just a weird combo. So I was like, I'm watching these two guys, and they don't really know what to do with each other, and the putting is not great. But it gets better because, first of all, we had fun power-ups. We had they had to use different-sized glass golf balls, which I don't know if that's actually true if they were glass, because there was some pretty good bouncing off of those cement walls, but maybe like acrylic, whatever it was. Another power-up was the ping pong paddle that Michael, the commando, had to use, who actually, he did great with it. And and got an epic long 2-putt that he sank with that ping pong paddle. So then at one point they give us a score update, and Gavin is doing absolutely terribly. He's crawling inside the obstacles. He's just doing. I did like what he was doing. Like, he was having like wardrobe issues and putting issues, and so he just decided to throw it all against. He just completely threw the game of mini golf out the window and just was having fun and being wonky, and I loved that. So anyway, so they give us a score update, and Gavin is down by 7 at this score update they gave us, which was probably around hole 15 or something. Then coming into the last hole, as you can see, going into the 18th hole, Gavin is down by 4, so he's made up a little ground. And they go on to a point where this is the 2-level 18th hole. They both hit the little announcer booth that they, of course, place right on the green at the exit pipe, which is so great. Now, Michael is like Happy Gilmoring around the hole with these tiny little putts. It's so awful. I almost wonder if he just wanted the tie. Now, it seemed like he wanted the tie because that's more fun for everybody. And thank goodness, because so he does this inexplicable tap of the ball from 6 inches away. doesn't even travel probably an inch, and sinks it in the hole max of 7 to give them a tie at 68, I believe. So then we have another tiebreaker. Then it's like they actually started, they turned on the gas here in the tiebreaker, and they were actually putting like anybody gave a shit about anything, which was nice to see.
Oh, wait, we're in a competition?
Yeah. Well, they said something like that. Well, the commentary was real good in these couple episodes with stuff like that. I forgot that they thought they were supposed to be playing mini golf or something like that, somebody said. But so in the tiebreaker, I think it was the 3rd hole of the tiebreaker, we get Gavin miraculously achieving victory over Commando Michael. And so we get to keep the human mini golf course in the game into the final 4.
Gotta say, that made me happy. As much as his character is not like doing everything or much, I do like that costume. I think it's one of the more brilliant like costume premises.
And I think it's a great, like, obviously if you're dressing as a mini golf course or hole or whatever, like, there's no associated personality with that. So it could have been anything. And I think it's the right kind of thing, because mini golf is just by nature kind of like doofy. So I like the fact that he's just like kind of like ambles around the universe and doesn't really have any idea what's happening. I think it checks out.
I don't know about you guys, but if I saw a human miniature golf course, I hope to God he's British. Like, I think
absolutely.
Like, of course. Like, why wouldn't he? But no, so I guess that takes me to Matt and Jeremy, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I can read. So Trevor and Gavin. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt and Jeremy. Like I literally just said. I can read. I can do this. All right. So the next round's Matt, the Lucha Libre, versus the deranged serial killer turned chef / humanitarian, Jeremy. See, I took notes. I wrote stuff. So
I like humanitarian.
Read it and execute it. So it looks like Jeremy has a small lead after the first few holes, and I'm still shocked that this guy who is shackled is able to putt and do well. which I'm pretty impressed because he just doesn't have that much mobility. They get to their first power up, and both players go completely out of their way to get it, which I still don't know if that's a good strategy or not. Yeah, like Tom's shaking his head. No, I don't think so either, but it's a show. It's fun, and the power-ups are funny, so I get it. But the power-up, each player had to wear an eye patch, and it seemed like it really didn't affect Jeremy too much. I think Matt like almost ran into a tree, but Jeremy he started getting a commanding lead, and I think at some point he maybe hole 7 he had like a 9-stroke lead on Matt, which was extremely impressive. But Matt started catching up. He sunk, I believe, 2 aces
in a row. It seemed.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because out of all the gameplay from the whole entire show, someone starts acing shots, and even Matt, I think, is surprised. He's like, "Oh, that's good." He's like, "Yes." So hole 1, that's exactly what you want. So even though Matt is slowly making his way back up the leaderboard, I don't know if it's enough to, catch up to Jeremy and that lead. But Jeremy wins power up, and it's this air horn, and he completely botches it, and I think uses it upside down towards him, freezes his hands. So the power up was completely worthless after all that. And like I said, despite the comeback that Matt was trying to make, which I don't know if it was skill or luck, but it's miniature golf, and it's a combination of both. But Jeremy took the win, 63-68, earning him a spot in the final 4. Hey, I got the scores right. Yes.
Nailed it.
Yes.
And there it is. Our second round, which I could barely keep track of because time is a weird thing, sets up our semifinals after you're seeing all these scores. And there's our semifinals.
Oh, yeah.
Trevor versus Gavin, the matchup you've been waiting for. Jeremy versus Blaine. Personalities, the performers. We really have the stage set for one of the great sets of matches of the century. And we're going to start with maybe, I'd say undoubtedly, a crowd favorite in the first of the semifinal matches, Randy.
All right, so this is about as good of a character matchup as you could hope for. This one was great. So I like the way that it started with a deke on the referee assignment, where the ref who slept in the first day apparently and wasn't in the first few episodes shows up to ref the match, but then they swap her out to bring Larry back in, who, as you can see in the graphic, suffered greatly in last round's matchup due to some crafty mask removal techniques on Jeremy's part. That was a really fun thing I thought they did, that like to add a little extra something to a story that's not just based on the mini golf part, because obviously this is a story focused or a character focused thing also. So I thought that was fun. So this matchup, so just to preface, these two matchups that we've seen, these semifinal matchups, did not conclude during these episodes. So there isn't a result to get to, but, and I don't even know what the current score is as of where they stopped, to be honest. But this one I thought was really strong with their putting. I feel like they really switched it on. There was a lot of ridiculous stuff also, but I thought they did a lot. There was a lot more good stuff mixed in than usual from these two guys. Although the course was giving them trouble, as you can see in this graphic, which anyone who's played mini golf a lot has run into problems like this 1,000 times where a pipe doesn't work right, or your ball gets stuck in an obstacle and you don't realize that it wasn't even supposed to come out or it didn't come out. But I really like what they did with character stuff here, because it's funny. I thought Blaine, for once, was actually starting to kind of chill out a little bit relative to his thing. And the Jeremy Hannibal Lecter character really started to kind of like take on a life of its own, where almost nothing is about mini golf. It's now just a thirst for blood that it was like, tertiarily evident in the beginning, but now he's just all about just eating human flesh, and mostly Larry's human flesh, the referee, which I thought was weird, because while marbled cuts like a ribeye maybe do have their place, I think a lot of people prefer to go for a leaner cut. And so I thought it was a little strange that with a shirtless Blaine, that Jeremy was deciding to continue to make a point of going after Larry the ref, who succumbed to some maskless bites several times in this semifinal round. But yeah, do you have the score, Tom, or someone they ended up at? I don't know if they said it.
I don't think so.
Okay. It seemed like it was a relatively close matchup when they were both good or both bad. It seemed like on any given hole.
I do have in my notes that going into the 10th hole, they were tied at 35.
There you go. So
the episode, but that was at least a big chunk of it.
All right. So I'm excited. I'm a little sad, and I've said this before in other matchups. I'm a little sad because I kind of wish that this could be more of a finale matchup, although I do love Gavin. I'm going to be sad that one of these guys is not going to make it to the finale, because they're both so fun to watch, and whether the putting is good or bad, they make the best of it, and I've been very entertained by both these guys. So I will be very happy for one and very sad for the other.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jeremy, and
yeah,
it looked like he wasn't doing that well. It seemed like
it did start to look like that. I don't know if he
getting best at him.
I don't know if he got in his own head, or if he's just so enticed by Larry's meat that that he's lost all sight of the goal at hand, and maybe it doesn't even matter to him anymore because he's hungry.
Yeah, you got to eat.
You got to eat to survive.
Listen, when you're in the semifinals of any miniature golf competition, you're out for blood. I get it. I can relate. Yeah. Especially when you're hungry. It's no joke. It's no joke. So, like Randy mentioned, we're in the semifinals, and the other matchup is Trevor versus Gavin. Trevor, this quintessential sports, athlete, and Gavin, a miniature golf player. Yeah. So it's an interesting matchup, to say the least. And like Randy mentioned in the matchup between Blaine and Jeremy, you could start seeing the gameplay really pick up. Not so much the case between these two. It's as if it was just a round that just tried to get into the tournament. I'm shocked that the two of them got this far. Actually, honestly, I feel like Trevor has more of an advantage, and Gavin is just there by default. I don't know. Gavin is not drinking anymore at this point. So who knows? Maybe his gameplay will get a little bit better than his first round. But when they started, the putting was just horrendous, poor, going all over the place. I think Trevor had a small lead by 2 strokes over Gavin. And then Gavin quickly tied it up. So it was a pretty close match. Pretty much to determine who's the worst golfer. But the first power up, I think Gavin surprisingly had a lead. I think it was 22-26 over Trevor, which at that point I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, is Gavin's lackadaisical gameplay getting in Trevor's head? Because he seemed like a more polished player, and it wasn't the case in this matchup. But Trevor won the first power up, and he gave Gavin this tool that looked like a sledgehammer and an axe had a baby.
Amazing.
And Gavin decides to do his signature move. Really, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, would be his finishing move on himself by putting this axe tool thing off of his body, which I'm shocked.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Now, he's using more of the blunt end versus the chopping axe side. But still, like, that's not a smart move. It's probably a heavy tool.
It looked heavy. It looked like he could barely move it. Yeah.
So he hits it off here. I think the hole itself, he maybe got like a 3. He actually surprisingly did well, but he's like putting off the railing. That's exactly. And bouncing. Misses. And again, one side of this tool is an axe. Okay? So he's going to hurt himself. Stay forward on it, something. I'm watching this. I'm like, this guy's going to die. And we're going to stop. There's no more episodes after this.
That moment, if you haven't watched this, sign up for the free trial, watch the series, and wait until I know the timestamp. It's 22 minutes and 15 seconds into episode 6. Watch this moment.
But like it's like he was trying to hurt himself, but somehow he didn't hurt his game. Later in the matchup, both players are it just seems like they kind of gave up mentally. Like Gavin's getting a bug in his eye, and they're both putting at the same time. And I think the highlight of their matchup was this incredible 2-putt by Trevor. They both putt at the same time. Gavin's ball gets closer to the hole. Trevor is now far away, pretty much back to the start from the tee box, and he sinks this double bank 2-shot, which I'm just like, what?
That was wild.
To Randy's point, I don't think we get a score on where they're at. And Tom, you've played this course, so you have a better idea where they're at. But other than the announcers mentioning it, I actually don't know what hole they're on. I'm assuming halfway through at this point, or a little bit more. But I think it ends with Gavin getting. That's just. I think
that was him being a pal too.
Yeah. But I think it ended with Gavin getting a power up, knocking the power up over, and winning some type of air horn. So it'll be interesting to see how he utilizes that.
I think I have a picture of the air horn. Oh, this was an impressive one too.
Yeah.
The ball got stuck on it.
Like, it's insane. The best worst shots.
Oh. That is my favorite thing. I rewound that moment on the little fence 5 or 6 times, laughing out loud. That's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite thing that's happened in this entire series.
For sure.
And so you can see the air horn in the pocket right there, getting ready to
go.
I think they're trying to foreshadow.
Yeah, we got teased that he's gonna really make use of it by not using it. It's going to make use of the longevity of that
strategy. Absolutely. You never know what's coming.
I love that idea.
So, that gets us to the end of the episode, which is kind of weird that, like, we're left here, like, we have these 4 people left. And what I can confirm, because I've snuck ahead, is that you're like, there's realistically then only one match left and they're already halfway done with it. How are they getting to like 8 episodes?
Mhm.
But the 7th episode starts off with them finishing up and then goes into a match for 3rd place.
Oh,
So
loser
so the-
bracket.
Nice.
So the finale, which I believe Pat has also seen a teaser of, looks great. It airs this week, and I believe it's only going to be that single championship matchup of the 2 people that advanced. So that was the thing that was surprising me. I even like writing the PR folks that do the show so we can get access to this. The thing that I'd asked him about is like, when does this end? Like, does it get in? Does it like we're trying to like do this show? Is there like an 8th episode? Because like I don't know how are you going to get to an 8th episode when you really only have half of 2 matches and 1 full match left. So yeah, they have that. They have the 3rd place match. And then it really kicks off into the finale. And
I can't wait.
yeah, I haven't told my other host this yet, but we might get an early viewing of it on Monday. They're going to send us a sneak preview before the public gets to see it. So if you're looking to binge, like Randy had said, the Rooster Teeth, sign up for their first program. You can binge through the first 7 episodes, and I believe on Wednesdays when they normally make all the episodes live, you will get to go through it. So we're in a pandemic. They're about a half hour, 35 minutes an episode. So we're talking like 3.5 hours. It's like, I don't know, the length of a samurai movie that you probably should have watched, but you're like, like it's late, I can't handle the subtitles, but I'm going to go watch this someday. You can watch this and you can kind of fall asleep and wake up and you're not going to miss much in the putting. You just got to make sure you see some of like, if Blaine's on the screen, you got to see it.
Amen.
You can't
But
miss
yeah,
it.
Can we get Blaine? Can we get Blaine in here?
we need a little bit of Blaine action.
Listen,
Let's
Never mind. All right.
Give me 6 months, about 1,000 crunches and some baby oil, and maybe I'll have like a quarter of what he has. Maybe.
I don't control time, and I can't motivate people to do anything, but I will supply the baby oil.
We're halfway there. Right. So, side note, quick little story. I just went to Maryland for the Greater Baltimore Mini Golf Tour, and we stopped at Mitchell's Golf Complex. It has 3 really interesting courses. One is almost like a chip and miniature golf putt, where for the holes you have to chip, and then they have this monster course, which is called the Monster in the Pines. But we met some of the coworkers there. And we always do some networking. We give them a business card. We're Street Mini Golf, follow our stuff, blah, blah, blah. And as we're leaving, they're like, do you follow Rooster Teeth? And I'm like, what? Funny that you mentioned it. So like this girl was a huge fan and she was kind of giving me some backstory on what they do. And I'm like, you have to watch Hardcore Mini Golf. Then you have to watch our recap of it. And so, yeah, maybe we'll have another fan, another viewer.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Speaking of viewers, I'm gonna drop out those folks, and we got a good day from friend Alan Cox and a nearby neighbor in Minneapolis. We have Steve Janis. Janis talking about me with the deets. I'm guessing that was early in the episode, talking about the details of this show. Yeah, Pat even I think had found one of many, which I've found fan art, like really well done fan art of some of the characters.
Yeah,
like
from Hardcore Mini Golf.
Yeah, of the 3 girls, it was. I happened to be on Twitter, doing deep dives into the mini golf.
Wow.
Hashtag, and most of it's holy moly stuff these days, obviously. But came across that and scanned through it. It was really good. It was really good stuff. So it was on Rooster Teeth Twitter if you want to check it out.
Cool.
Love the fan art stuff. Rooster Teeth for you gamers. I just saw my brother posted something yesterday, or dropping a new Red versus Blue series, Red versus Blue Zero. So if you, I don't know if that's going to be, I'm assuming that's going to be behind their paywall for a little bit. So all the more reason to sign up for that, because I actually went back and started watching the old episodes of Red versus Blue and forgot how incredibly effing funny that show is, as somebody who played a lot of Halo. So a little shout out there and more reason. Yeah, so there's been good stuff I haven't gone through lately. They also did, they had a couple good things on Reddit I saw, although not exactly the analogy you want, because Jeremy's mask doesn't exactly cover his entire face, but they have a post around, if he can wear a mask for an entire mini golf round or two, you can wear a mask to the store. So shout outs to Rooster Teeth and
doing their part
behind keeping everybody safe there as well. So they're out on the socials doing some pretty good stuff around this as well.
Yeah, we're digging it, and with all of our episodes, we kind of do. Whoa, did that really big? I forgot that I used the banner, but let's use it. Aces. This is kind of where we're talking about aces and bogeys, where it's like, what do we like, what do we don't like about the episodes? And Randy, kick it off.
I'm gonna do the sledge axe power up as my ace for this episode. I don't know if they assigned it to Gavin on purpose, because he's a pretty wiry, frail-ish sort of looking guy, but I mean the pair up between that power up penalty, I guess, and Gavin, that I have not laughed harder in this entire series through 6 episodes than Gavin dealing with this sledge axe. I thought that was the best thing in the series, and especially it's Gavin's handling of it, though. I mean, it's such a funny thing to give a guy who's just sort of so passive something that is so hard to handle. You know what I mean? So that's my ace, Gavin / the sledge axe. Way to go, Gavin.
Aaron.
I'm going to go the literal approach and Matt, the Lucha Libre, with his 2 aces, where I love watching miniature. I love watching golf, sports in general. But for our sport of miniature golf, it's so nice to see some aces. And for a series that has some horrific mini golf putting, it was just glorious to see some great shots. So going for my ace with actual aces.
Nice.
Pat.
Kind of similar thread. I love the ties, because as you guys mentioned, they actually started playing well when it went to sudden death overtime here, and they started having the playoffs. And so I love any sort of mini golf playoff, especially when it's one hole down through. Most tournaments end up being that way. And it's just super exciting. I've won and lost my fair share of them, but in this particular case, I've liked just seeing that, all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, like we're actually going to play for something and take it seriously and knock it out. So that's my aces from these couple of episodes.
My ace is I've been really paying attention to the funny jargon. Like, mini golf isn't like well defined on TV and like broadcast sports. So there's no real like language around it for most people. And then you take like a goofy comedy show that's not taking itself serious, and they just throw stuff in there like, oh, I'm gonna blast off. Oh, you blasted that much. Like, it's like a comedy show. I've found rim shot, toilet. Oh, that's a toilet bowl shot. Scratching. What scratching? Like all of these like weird, like there was a mention. I think Jack mentioned that Trevor was using an Australian grip for putting.
Isn't it? I think is the thing.
You should ask Alan.
It's just like it would to me. That is just like that. In the commentary, I think they've been like subtly getting better and better as they found their groove. I think that's like sort of like with Holy Moly, like season 2 where Wriggle is just like completely like comfortable and just killing it this year. That I think that like flow and that natural like back and forth, they've been really coming around in a way that I've been super impressed by. So that's my ace. Bogeys, and we'll kick it back off.
Before we get off that,
Yeah.
That's actually like in thinking about, a lot of us being in the professional side of things, the tournament side of things, you hear a lot about, people wanting to put it on TV, get back to like the ESPN thing, or how come it's not on, why is Holy Moly on there? And that's probably one of the biggest things, is that you would need such a good commentary group to keep people's interest.
Mm-hmm.
To watch that it's almost impossible to do without bringing somebody. Like, you would need Tessitore and Wriggle to actually do the real tournaments, because otherwise it's going to be boring as shit watching us move around a mini golf course playing, right. So I think that's one thing that people underestimate when it comes to, I don't watch a lot of the other stuff that's on ESPN that's kind of in our realm, but it seems like, when cornhole's on or darts or something, they've got the right set of commentators to hit it. And in this, and Holy Moly this season absolutely have hit that as well. You can see the value in having that.
I think you're right. And I think that was my first ace of this season. In our first recap of the first couple episodes were the commentary guys. I totally agree with you, because any mini golf stuff that has been on TV, like in the 90s or whatever, with the putt stuff on ESPN, they treat it in trying to give it some credibility by taking it as seriously as possible, which it's just, I get that strategically, but it doesn't really work for mini golf. Like, that's the whole point of mini golf, is just to is that it's fun. So I back you 100,000%, which is not a real thing, except if you're multiplying. But 100%, Pat, for sure. And yes, I think if we had even these guys, they've done enough of this goofy stuff. Like, these guys could come into a mini golf tournament and they would make it totally interesting to watch via commentary.
Yeah. And not to belabor it, but I've watched a bunch of those putt videos. And Billy Packard, who does like NCAA tournament stuff for basketball, him on there, everything is just so quiet. And I find those putt tournament videos fascinating on one level, but there's a certain part of like watching it and they're really serious and everybody's making the putts, that it's almost like real golf where it kind of puts you to sleep. And I don't want that. It's like
David Faraday whispering during his commentary.
Yeah, it's just like that. Like I want a little bit of like personality and something to go with the putting, and just talk about like how difficult it is, and just like, that is wild. I could never do that. Versus like, oh, they made it like this person just scored like a 22, and like the average person watching is like, I just got a hole in one when I went out. I feel like $1 million. Now I feel like an idiot that I couldn't get like 16 hole in ones. It's like, nobody does that. It's like going and playing a basketball game and be like, oh, I made 95% of my shots. What? Like, that's crazy. You feel good if you hit like 60. Anyways,
right.
That's my little rant. Randy, let's get some bogeys. Let's negative talk.
Super quick before my bogey. The one thing I forgot to mention about Gavin, I think I put together why I like Gavin so much. I think Gavin reminds me a lot of Tom Green. Just with way less energy. Wow. But it's that whole vibe of like seeming like you have no idea what you're doing, but you know exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
I think Gavin's got a little Tom Green underneath, and I love it. Okay, my bogey. I'm gonna have to say is I don't want to be mean. The course.
Ooh.
and I'm giving. So here's what something specific about the course. It seems like, I don't know if it's built into like a hillside or something.
It is.
But almost every hole seems to have like really ridiculous, and those obstacles only amplify how crazy those breaks are, because they put them in a way that, you know, the ball is going to break and the ball will land behind the obstacle, you know. So I don't mind that in a way, but this is not a tournament where they're going to prep and like figure out what the breaks are on the golf course. So like in that way, I feel like that's kind of like it doesn't do anybody any good to have a course that kind of shoves every ball off into the same corner of the green. And I feel like that happens a lot, where both competitors' balls end up right in the same spot. And I guess, I mean, what can you do? But also, it just makes it a little less interesting to watch.
For sure.
Aaron.
My bogey is going to be between Gavin and Trevor. Surprise! During their match, like I said, they kind of just gave up mentally. So much to the point where they are flipping what looks like end zone pilings to see what their
what was that?
will be. It's so
I had that as an ace. I love
yeah.
it.
It's like a 12-year-old flipping that water bottle and getting it to stand up, or like, oh, like, when did that? What? And then the rep's like, yeah, this counts. Okay. So I have no words. I have no words. It's just like, where did they come from? Why? I guess every flip was a stroke, and again, like, you know where they're at. I don't know who's winning. I don't know. I don't think they know. So yeah, it slightly funny and frustrating, but that was just a scene where, like, I don't know if you guys know. So in The Shining, towards the end, the girl's like just running around, and she looks in the one room, and there's the guys with like a bear mask, and the one dude's sitting on the bed, and he pops up. And it's like a really weird and awkward scene. It's like maybe 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? And the rest,
like, it wasn't weird enough. We had to throw in some. Yeah.
And that's all you're thinking about. Like, what about the bear with the guy in the room? Like, what happened there? That's my version of this. They're just flipping something. I'm like, wait, what? What happened? Wait, go back to like, huh? So, yeah, that's my bogey, which I compared to a very weird sexual scene from The Shining.
You're up.
So interesting, the two I have are basically related to the two that you guys mentioned. And I think, Aaron, you hit it. It was so out of place for this round.
Yeah.
It would have been like completely on brand of the first set of rounds, and then like everybody actually was progressing, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're just like, and I literally put like somewhere in my notes, I was like, they did this, and it just went all downhill from there, like, and it just didn't make sense in the context of where they were, and maybe it was because their matchup wasn't the most entertaining, especially compared to the other semifinal one, and then Randy, so. Interestingly, the note I have, and I don't fault them a lot for this. I do only fault them a little because I know some of it is they're doing a bit of it, but especially the first couple holes, nobody adjusts their damn shot when they watch the person in front of them.
Yeah,
a shot, and I know we are all guilty of watching somebody hit and be like, I am not going to hit that same damn shot, and then you go and hit the same exact stupid shot. They do it every single hole. I watch it. They do. That ball is going to break about 6 feet, and you literally just hit the exact same shot on there. And that part was just driving from for me, it's just sitting there going, you can make it just as interesting, like, because maybe you could get the hole in one, and that would be interesting, and do it. Just adjust one time, effing adjust.
Yeah.
So those were my
that hole 2 on the West course that was in the tiebreaker with Blaine and Lindsay, the one that has like the wild break right. Like, it's like, come on, like, you just played this course. Like, you know where the obstacle is. And you know what's funny? Like the angle that they shoot it, they also don't give it enough credit for how much the ball will come back to the person at the front, because I think didn't Trevor hit it back to himself a bunch?
Did you guys just time that drink at the same time? You both just like
on purpose.
Same hand and everything.
We've been doing this enough that our drinking cycles are starting to sync.
Yeah, I'm a little left out now. Hold on.
Come on.
Hey.
Well, my bogey is another sort of inexplicable thing that I don't even think we addressed in any of the first 4 episodes, and then all of a sudden came up multiple times in episodes 5 and 6. There's such thing as a scratch.
Oh yeah.
Did you get a 7?
The maxing out, yeah.
The 7, but so do you get a scratch and it's more than 7, or is it just related to the power-ups? And they don't explain that.
I just think it's a buzzword for maxing out on a hole.
Well, no. I figured it out. It's you blow your power up.
Yep.
Right.
Max out.
But are they only doing that in the semifinals now?
I think they were doing it before.
Maybe it just didn't happen before.
It just didn't happen.
Well, because they have changed the holes that the power-ups happen on, and so they may have been on easier locations in the early rounds because they wanted people to go for it to make, so I could see that. That's interesting. I'm glad you picked that up, Pat, because that would have bothered me so much.
Yeah, and it only made me think like they must have just grabbed it like, all right, it's like a pool scratch, right? Like you basically have given up your
right.
Which makes sense, but I would have loved them to even have said like this just means they get the 7 versus like do they get an 8, or like there's like a little bit of like in general like I don't care to like see the score that in detail every putt, but I wouldn't mind them to like give us an update on some like basic things given that they're advancing people in this tournament.
And I feel like they do a pretty good job with explaining like the power up or how the tiebreaker is going to go. But yeah, that just kind of happened randomly. And yeah, I'm curious what other rules they're going to, just spring on us.
2 more episodes, we'll find out. But we'll probably, I don't know when we'll get a chance to discuss this. If it'll be already next weekend, if people are feeling up to it, we'll just have to have a discussion amongst us because we have some big things happening in the mini golf world in the upcoming weeks and in general. And I'm going to let Randy kick off the mini golf happenings to wrap up this week at least.
Oh gosh, why? Me and my friend Danny, who's also a tournament mini golfer, are going to play some mini golf on Tuesday. It may be on Eastern Long Island, and I don't want to blow Pat's cover here for his happenings, but we may try to pop up to Connecticut to play a little bit up there. But I'll let Pat get to that. I was talking to some friends today about planning stuff, and we were just talking about how grateful we are that there are still competitive things that are happening, like Pat and Aaron are going to mention. I'm glad that those things are able to happen because it's conducive to pandemic precaution. Just being outside, being far apart enough. Masks are easy enough to wear. So I don't really have anything except I'm just saying I'm glad that mini golf is open and we can go do it. So go do it. Go please play mini golf. Support your local mini golf courses. These business owners need your dollars right now, and that's all I got.
I think the next person up is Aaron.
All right. So, oh God, where to start? This weekend, this day specifically has been extremely busy for me. We just dropped off our pop-up mini golf course at a learning center for kids that have a day camp, which is something fun to do outside. We have it's a 9-hole pop-up mini golf course, so they have it for the week. So woke up to do that. Pat's probably going to touch on it, or Tom, a little bit more about the Putt 18 tournament that we just completed week 2 on. Which, Randy, I did not realize we were last.
I didn't either.
There's so much pressure.
The world was watching us today.
I mean, come on. I didn't realize that. But just got done game 8 of our the O Street Mini Golf League, and it was close. One of my favorite courses, Seaport Village. Last year I shot a 28 and 10 hole-in-ones. So it's one of my better courses on the tour. And front 9, I shot like a 13. I was like, yes. I'm like, I'm on fire. And then I got a 4, and then like an easy one, I got a 5, and I fell apart. And I ended up getting 4th for the 3rd time in a row with a 36. I'm a little bummed out, but our league is just stepping it up. This kid Nate, who's a rookie from last year, he almost won. Wow. By the way, that's Chewy. Say hi. I was trying to get comfortable, and now leaning on me. But no, Nate almost won his 3rd straight game in the league, and it went into playoff. Go figure. Which was pretty exciting. And then Saturday, just got back from the Greater Baltimore Mini Golf Tour. I did not win, but I got 3rd, and still taking a pretty hefty lead in the tour with a 23-stroke lead. So I'm happy with that. But to Randy's point, there's a lot going on in just the Northeast area in terms of miniature golf. And at the end of August, we have our $1,000 mini golf tournament going on. Holy moly, in less than 2 weeks for myself. So there's a lot of miniature golf to be excited about. I know I am. I'm pumped.
Wait, what's happening in 2 weeks?
Holy moly! Hey!
Speaking of smoke shows.
Yes. I
didn't know Blaine Gibson was on Holy Moly.
I'm happy that some working out leading up to that paid off to the point where I'm okay with that. But what I'm more embarrassed about is what happens after that.
Can't wait.
Which all my swim and diving friends are going to give me a lot of shit for. But
did you have to get rescued by the sexy diver from the Bachelor episode? Never mind, don't tell me.
I can't give anything.
I know. I just couldn't help the thought from crossing my lips. I'm sorry.
What's funny is the outfit that they give us, this parka, the swim parka. I have one from Drexel. Like, that is something I've always wanted. And God, did I wish we were able to keep that. I would have died for that. But yeah, for someone who has a swimming background, that is pretty cool that I got to do that, plus some miniature golf.
Are you going to have a viewing party of any kind, or is that like not so great
we're still figuring out the details and locations. Yeah. If I definitely do one, I actually
drive-in.
Well, I have what do you call it? Custom face masks for all the guests, plus a little like 2-ounce hand sanitizer for everyone. I think I might do it at my backyard, but pretty much only invite my family, which I have a huge family. Like, I have 21 cousins on my mom's side.
What the hey?
Yeah, 14, and then my uncle married my aunt who had 5 kids, and then they just had a kid, and then my cousin has 2 kids. It's Italians and Irish.
Your family don't need no pandemic to get busy.
I'm gonna say Italian,
right?
Probably some Catholics in there too.
Yeah. But yeah, so
be fruitful and multiply, they say.
But if we do have one, it's going to be small, capping it at a limit, and it has.
That's kind of a bummer for you to have to not have a big giant event.
I know, But listen, you got to look at the silver lining, and I rather be on Holy Moly and have a small watch party than not be on it at all. So I'm got to deal with the cards that are dealt, and if you have to be in a Speedo and jump off a diving board and then putt on national television just to get there, sure, I'll do it.
We hear you.
Nice. So that's August 6th
on
ABC, a week from this Thursday. And for the bigger Windmill, we already have special guests to recap that episode. We're going to have Rudy. We're going to have Rudy and Evan recap Aaron's.
No.
And then we're going to have it.
I know they're all going to say the best things about me. I'm just so excited.
Oh, that's going to be a goodie.
We're going to have Aaron on the following week. And then this week, we are going to be talking about episode 9 of Holy Moly that airs this Thursday on We're Going to Need a Bigger Windmill. We actually have David and Lizard, two of the competitors that face off in the episode against each other that have some strong personalities, some photos that I've seen, and are really great follows on social media. They're both going to come on and chat with us about their experience this week. So we get another set of competitors on We're Going to Need a Bigger Windmill, and we've got some other episodes coming up. I wanted to show this because I went out in the other room and got it. So this is what our Peter Pan scorecard looks like.
Very cool.
I played like pretty bad when we went there. With like I told you the story, I was like really hungover. These scores are like better than when they're on the show, so it makes me feel better. Second time I went, I didn't feel as good, but whatever.
What's the best score for hardcore mini golf? Was it a 58, 55?
59.
Yeah.
59.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's I mean,
that would be my worst day in a decade on a mini golf course like that.
Unless it's something crazy that has like a par 72.
Right.
Something like, throw that.
Like other than like, Disney, the fairways at Fantasia Gardens or something. Like, like barring like a lengthy, undulous course, that is.
Yeah, what's the par on that?
And I'm not even that good.
41 on both of them.
41. If I shot a 59 on a 41, I would walk away.
I will only say
from the sport. That's it.
No,
no way.
I will only say that there's a couple courses that O Street, when they were in Minnesota, played. That there's two of them. So that Eagle Lake, that Aaron and I had a really good final hole on. Mm-hmm. The par on it was like 36. We were both 10 over. I mean, it was like near impossible. Like the putting was like, it was really tough. And then Centennial Lakes, this course that has like 150-foot holes, has a par 51.
Oh, and it's all grass.
It's all grass.
They cut it 3 times a week. It's insane.
Yeah, it like that. And oddly enough, the thing I was going to mention that fits in with two things Randy talked about was A, courses that are really long, and B, tournaments, is that Robin and I confirmed with a local course that we're going to be doing a tournament this fall, Lilliput. We're going to be calling it the Miniest Mini Golf Open that we're going to be announcing later this week officially. And people will just be able to Lilliput?
I've canceled a lot of trips. I got a lot of flight credits.
It's late September.
Hey, Randy. You should fly Sun Country Airlines.
No.
Highly recommend it.
That's where like
think about it.
We had it's funny that he mentions that because that's where they had to like talk with Sun Country about their refund and getting their flights changed was at that course that has a par 66.
Yeah, no joke.
And it is serious. I don't think anybody in our group. I don't think anybody in our group got in. Maybe one or two got in the 60s, but nobody got close to the 40s. Yeah. I mean, like I asked someone, the manager there, and they said they thought the course record was a 46 all time, and this is like a 40-year-old course. I got one of my better scores this week in a 53, and I felt like $1 million. That was like,
Wowzer.
yeah. So we're going to be doing that. It's the miniest mini golf open at a place called Lily Putt. We had to go along with the pun, and the name of the course being like, a play on Gulliver's Travels. So that'll be happening over the weekend of before mini golf, before the National Mini Golf Day, or the Mini Golf Day in
These
September.
people are trying to make me travel 3 weekends in a row for mini golf.
18th and 19th of September.
Same weekend
you
as
play
us.
Oh no.
Yeah, because it's the same as Pat's, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're the 19th.
I mean, we're scheduling it because we know we're not traveling for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like good to have all these little tournaments, and like we're just hoping, like no one's really put together any mini golf tournaments, and so we thought we might as well do something at like a course that gets people out. People only have to play one round and the best 6 scorers will go to a final matchup on the Sunday. There'll be like 2 groups of 3.
Nice.
And that there'll be trophies and money and prizes and all sorts of stuff. So
Cool.
Dipping our feet in the water. But yeah, Pat.
Yeah, so as Randy alluded to, we've got the Matterhorn Mini Golf Drop-In League that happens Tuesday night, 6 p.m. $15 gets you 2 rounds. It's a weekly thing, so nothing carries over so far. So we'll run that all the way up until the week that ends with September 19th, which is when we're having our 4th. I think it's 4th annual.
Yeah.
I should know this.
Yeah. It's yours.
Yeah, it is my tournament. Yes, it's 4th. Once won by Highlighter, twice won by Mr.
Justin
Seymour.
Yeah, jeez.
Justin, man.
Yeah, so we've got that. That's a 5-round tournament if you play the pro side, 3 rounds if you play the amateur side, and we've had good success with that in the past. So that'll be September 19th.
Listen, Tom, Justin is a tournament killer. He will
know.
go to your tournament and win, and somehow he'll do both. I don't know how, but he'll get the Minneapolis and go back to the Matterhorn.
But you know what he won't be able to do ever though? The Putt
Live?
18 World League, because there's a time limit.
That is
Just saying, love you, Justin, but like
Justin and I last year, I don't know how many final groups we played. I think it was at least 3: Maine, Farmington, and Matterhorn, and we are just different ends of the spectrum when it comes to how quickly we play mini golf.
yes.
So
Yep.
yeah. So there's that. Actually, shouts to Justin.
12 seconds, right, Tom?
12 seconds.
Wow.
No, but seriously, Justin and Highlighter came down for our first $1,000 tournament last year. They drove in. They played in the morning, like maybe a round or 2 before the tournament, and went 1-2.
Yeah. After going 1-2 at Matterhorn, the day
At Matterhorn, yeah. So Justin, what was the first place prize for you, Pat?
500.
Yeah, ours was. I think he walked away with 700. So that was a nice weekend for Justin.
Yeah, pretty solid. So we
Bravo, my friend.
He earned a stimulus check in 2 days.
I'm gonna see if I can do the O Street one. I was gonna try to come down for the league this week, but I just don't think it's gonna happen for the 1 round. But the $1,000 one's quite tempting. So
It is very tempting. Yes.
Yeah,
it's the same
Spicy.
weekend. Not that I'm gonna travel down there, but the Tennessee Open for anybody in that section of the country is being held. It's the weekend of the 29th and 30th of August. Tabor's Mini Golf up in Maine, which is, I think, also Justin won last year, just after like showing up, or did very well. They're holding their 6th tournament, annual tournament, on August 16th this year. It's a 54-hole tournament on a Sunday. We're going to see how that plays into the cards, may get up there as well. We're still figuring out what's going to happen with our Dolphin tournament this year, which is the weekend after Labor Day, maybe 1 day, maybe 2 days, a lot in flux, obviously. And as of right now, of course, some of these tournaments, if you were outside of any of the states that Randy, myself, and Aaron live in, you probably couldn't come play unless you were going to spend 3 weeks, because
Yeah.
you have to quarantine for 2 of them and then play mini golf, which actually was a point we were talking about today in relationship to the Masters, because if any of us were to go, well, if I were to go to the Masters right now, we would have to quarantine when we came back. So,
whoa,
I've more or less given up on the Masters for this year. I think it just
didn't. Well, for me, it's not too terrible because I work at home anyways. But something I didn't quite think about in terms of the return trip. So we'll have to see that plays out. Yeah, and so the other thing we've been doing, so there's a bunch of that. We're waiting on a local Farmington tournament to see. They just ran a Glow Golf tournament last Friday night, that's always cool. And I haven't seen as much of that this summer with everything going on. And then there's been the Putt 18 World League, which all of us have competed in over the past couple of days. We've mentioned it on pretty much every broadcast, and I think it's just been one of the most fun things that have come out of this whole pandemic situation, being able to connect with people around the world, everybody playing, and everybody has been super, super supportive, very friendly. I think we've all had a chance to not only watch ours, but several from across the world, and obviously people watching us is there as well. So I've fielded a couple questions from people who've seen that stuff, or we've been talking it up in terms of how they get in. And I have to imagine this is not going to be the last time we see it. And I was thinking about it today, that with the amount of US people we have, maybe we just do a stateside only tournament at some point.
That'd be fun.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Let's go.
We got, in the depths of winter, we'll break this out when we're in like quarantine part 4.
We won't have the Ansley family just like cleaning up.
People
in New Zealand.
Yeah, right. That's right. The best way to put yourself at the top of the leaderboard is to not let the rest of the people play.
Yeah, this is like the first time that I've ever like competed in anything mini golf. So I feel like it's like, oh, my foot's like in the water. Now I'm gonna have to do more stuff. It's been super fun and just like great camaraderie and getting to play with people around the world that live in countries where they have masks and they figured some things out in most cases. Yeah. I was just thinking of like I almost wonder if like, you know how movies, like they're going to try to move production sets to like other countries, like with Holy Moly. Wonder if we're going to have to do like mini golf tournaments in different countries. I'm going to propose, I know that one of the countries that has the lowest rates, you have to get a test and you have to pay a little bit extra money to get into the country, but it's an amazing country. I know that there is a Viking ship mini golf course in Iceland just outside of Reykjavik. I've played it. It would be an awesome tournament course. I went there after it rained and then it was snowing when I left, and it was like then sunny shortly afterwards. Anything could happen, and you're in Iceland and we could like go swim in a pool afterwards that's like super hot and outside all year round.
Thermal temperatures of the volcano it sits under.
Sounds like we need sponsors and Rob Riggle, basically. Yes. and we're golden.
Iceland Air.
Iceland. I am furloughed. I have nothing else to do but miniature golf. This is the time to travel with cheap airfare and hopefully roll the dice and not get coronavirus.
Well, yeah.
I found a fifth.
What?
I found a fifth person that's going to join us to play in Iceland.
Yeah.
We got Alan Cox that's going to join us in Iceland, and then I've got like at least 3 people in our tournament in Coon Rapids, Minnesota, at Lilliput. So so there's lots of mini golf happening. We'll be probably broadcasting this next episode soon from Reykjavik from a pool. It'll be cool. None of us will have COVID. We won't have to worry about circles. We can all like high five and like hang out with Bjork. So expect the next. We're gonna need a bigger window.
At the airport, right? I think everyone that gets to Iceland just right there greeting you there.
No, she's actually pretty reclusive. Like there's all sorts of jokes that she lives on this island that has like a cloud like right above it, but it's also not true. Like there's like tons of rumors about that. She spends a lot of time in like London and the UK. She's not spending a ton of time there these days, but it's a
Either way,
magical
at that tournament, I think it should be mandatory to incorporate a swan into your wardrobe in one way or another.
Lori erect a trophy in her honor.
100%. So that's it for We're Gonna Need a Bigger Windmill. We got one. We're gonna have a fourth episode talking about hardcore mini golf, probably from a Viking ship in Iceland. TBD. I want to manifest some good in the world. So that's the expectation. I'm going to sign off first for Mr. T from A Couple Putts. I'm out. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. It's Pat from Putting Penguin. Stay safe, and like Randy said, visit your local mini golf course.
I'm Randy. Like I said, visit your local mini golf course. Get out there. It's okay. Play a little mini golf. Bring a friend in your quarantine circle. Go have fun. Support a local business. Trivia Smash on Instagram and Facebook to play trivia with me every once in a while.
And I'm Aaron Kaminsky, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Good night.
And that's the way it was.